I watched it here. I thought it was an incredibly difficult watch. I understand business, I understand supply and demand, and these sort of events wouldn't be happening if there wasn't an appetite for them. I think the Netflix viewing figures and the attendance would show you that there is a huge demand for it. But I'd also question, just because you can do something, should you do something? You know, was that really... I listened to those vox pops there from the fans saying, you know, it was one last opportunity to see Mike Tyson fight. Well, would it not be better served going on YouTube and watching a prime Mike Tyson? Did you really get the value out of the money that you paid for the ticket to go and watch him? I'd question that. That's kind of one of the things that was my immediate reaction to hearing what the fans had to say. But it's opinions, isn't it? It wasn't for me as more of a pure boxing fan. Nostalgia certainly took over, and I think some people got carried away. But that's not to throw any hate on Jake Paul at all. He is making waves in the sport. People can question the caliber of opposition and what he's doing, but he obviously is training very, very hard, and I think he does deserve some respect for obviously taking it easy down the stretch and choosing not to knock Mike Tyson out. I think people expected that he probably would, but I thought that would have been totally unnecessary, quite frankly. I think questions really need to be asked, serious questions about the safeguarding of athletes and the people around Mike Tyson. Why was he allowed to do that? Money isn't everything, surely. This is health. It was only a few months ago we saw him in a wheelchair or walking with a stick. And, I'm sure he thought he could win, and who on earth am I to question any sort of credentials of Mike Tyson? But I just would question the people around the event, what they were trying to achieve from it, because I think certainly fighters in that sort of situation probably need protecting from themselves. Not a good watch in my humble opinion, but as I say, that is just my personal opinion. Mike Tyson could still knock me out cold with a jab, so I'm not questioning that. I think people thought that maybe he could roll the clock back. He obviously still has the missiles, but he just can't launch them.
It's an interesting way to sum it up, Andy. Let's focus on the fight of the night, though. Katie Taylor successfully retaining her undisputed light welterweight title against Amanda Serrano. Not without controversy, that fight. Do you think we might hear a little bit more about that fight in the coming days?
I think we will. I think you've only got to flick on social media and see how it's completely divided people. It's 2-0 Taylor, but I think there's enough there that you would love to see a trilogy fight. If Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano fought 100 times, it would be 100 classics. They've had 20 rounds of brilliant boxing. One thing I would add to my sort of foggy argument is it brought a hell of a lot of eyes to the sport. And if those eyes were watching Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano, and we retain as a boxing community just 1% of that global audience, then perhaps it has served its purpose. Because if you watch that fight, you have to tip your hat and say that Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano served up an absolute classic. They are brilliant heroines for the sport. They are absolutely sensational. And just, on a side note, Katie Taylor, we had a very close relationship with her at Sky Sports and did most of her career. She is incredible, and I really do think that her CV will stand the test of time. She certainly can claim to be one of the greatest of all time female fighters. Just incredible that she continues to deliver on these big stages. I think we will hear a little bit more about it. Taylor suffered a pretty, sorry, I should correct myself there. Serrano suffered a pretty horrific cut, and they were very agitated afterwards as to whether or not she was reckless with the head, and the cut obviously did cause a factor. But I'd also say, some of the scorecards that I've seen online are completely baffling. It was a very, very close fight. There was no robbery. If it went one round to Serrano, I don't think people would have been up in arms, and if it was a draw, I don't think people would have been up in arms either. Katie Taylor, for me, did the cleaner work. The volume of punches was incredible, and it will be debated. Let's all agree on that.